All right, what's up, guys? Here's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about how to solve systems of equations that are kind of difficult, but I think if you just follow my step-by-step pattern, you can probably solve any system of equations using this method. So let's try an example. Let's do 5x minus 2y equals negative 48. And let's do 2x plus 3y equals negative 23. So here's the issue. The issue that we have here is that we can't eliminate anything because my x's are not the same, they're not opposites, my y's are not the same, and they're not opposites. So here's my suggestion. My suggestion is we should just make our x's opposites, okay? And so to do that, we need to put parentheses around both of these, and we need to multiply both of them by something. And so for this, I think that the best thing to do is to multiply the top one by whatever the bottom x is. So since the bottom x is 2, I'm going to multiply the top one by 2. And the bottom one needs to be multiplied by whatever the top x is. So since the top x is 5, we're going to multiply it by 5. Now, the only other issue we have here is that they're not going to be opposites yet because they're both positive here. And so to make them opposites, we're just going to multiply one of them by negative. And so for us, I think that it'll just be easier to always multiply the bottom one by a negative number. Now, it's not always going to be that way. You see, if you have a positive x and a positive x, then you need to multiply the bottom one by a negative. If you have a negative and a negative, then you have to multiply the bottom by a negative. But if they're already positive, negative, or negative, positive, you don't have to do anything there because they're already going to be opposites after you multiply. But the goal here is to make these things the same x. And I think that if you do that every time, and you remember to do that every time, then you can eliminate any system. So let's go ahead and distribute. The most common mistake is that you forget to distribute to this part over here beside the equal sign. So we're going to go ahead and distribute that and make it 10x minus 4y equals negative 96. And we're going to distribute the negative 5. That's going to make negative 10x minus 15y equals 115. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to add these out. Okay? And so to add these out, we're just going to cross that guy out. This is going to make negative 19y. And this is going to make negative 19. Or I'm sorry, positive 19. So the good thing about that is that now we can go ahead and solve for y. And so what we're going to do is we're going to divide by negative 19 on both sides, and y is going to be equal to negative 1. Beautiful. Now to solve for x, we're just going to do the same kind of thing. But to make it happen, we have to take one of our original equations, like 5x minus 2y equals negative 48, okay? And then we're just going to take this y and plug it in where I see y. And we do that every time. And if we do it correctly, it's going to be able to be solved for x. So we're going to do 5x minus 2 times negative 1 equals 48. Okay? And then we're going to go ahead and make this 5x plus 2, okay, equals 48. Oh, this was negative, my bad, negative 48. So now I'm just going to subtract 2 from both sides. I'm going to write that over here. This is 5x equaling negative 50 now. And then to solve, we divide by 5. This, therefore, x is going to equal negative 10. So the nice thing about this is that if you do this process, you can automatically eliminate something. Instead of trying to figure out, well, what are factors of this? What are numbers I can multiply? Instead of just doing that, just multiply the top one by the bottom x, multiply the bottom one by the top x, and then just make sure that they're opposites. Make sure this is going to be what happens. And then you can go ahead and eliminate and solve an easy equation. And then you're just going to plug that back in. Just make sure you plug it into one of the originals. Personally, I would just pick the top original, which is what I did here. And that's going to give you your new value of x. Now remember, this is a coordinate. So this is negative 10, comma, negative 1. And that's your answer. It's the intersection of both these lines.